Rethymnon, the city of traditional nobility and the sacred gauge. This beautiful daughter of Crete, city of culture and art. The history of this city too is lost in the times before the Minoans. Its habitation remains unbroken to date, but its visible history is restricted to the years from the Venetian occupation forth. The third largest in size city on Crete, open to the sea, in contrast to the other cities on the northern coastline of the island, with dolphins as its trademark. The Venetian Fortezza, a well-preserved monument, towers over the small, rugged hill boasting its grandeur. In the center of the fort rests restored the Great Mosque, which before the Ottoman occupation in 1645 was a church consecrated to St. Nicholas. On the northern side stand partially renovated the Venetian storerooms of the castle with their magnificent arches, while around the yard the visitor anticipates to find the sentries at their posts. Within the walls, display areas have been developed where often significant art events are organized. A quaint and delicate small theater on the walls every now and then mirrors the intellectuality of the city. In the small Venetian port, the fishing boats and the colorful sailing boats provide unfailingly the city with fish. Next to the small port, the large port connects daily Rethymnon city to Piraeus. Old-fashioned, small, neat streets, balconies where the eyes rest, doors and windows with carved illustrations draw the body of the old city. The archaeological museum is located at an easy proximity to the center of the city, with significant artifacts of all the ages. Of fine workmanship and pleasant to the eye is the Venetian fountain built by Retturis Rimonti in 1629 in the heart of the old city. The well-preserved minarets, rising admirably, cutting through the sky, demonstrate the presence of the Ottoman Turks. Majestic also lies the church of the New Four Martyrs at the large central square. A true jewel of the town is the county mansion. Its neoclassic nobleness is complete with the marvelous exterior design of the area it dominates. The city is friendly to the sea, and the sea open-handedly offers long and open beaches with golden sand and clear waters. Waters that invite and attract not only the locals, but even more the thousands of the foreign visitors to the noble city. At present, Rethymnon develops ceaselessly and is a prime recreation and entertainment destination for the local and foreign visitors. The fountains of Argyroupolis, a majestic draw of the brush by a divine artist on the body of the island. They declare their lively presence next to the ancient Lapa, rivaling the singing of the cicadas. A hillside endowed with a green nature, with age-old plane trees, with crystal-clear waters, with rapid, gargling fountains. It is one of the most popular recreation areas in Crete. Spili, like a Mediterranean noble village, is deeply rooted on the mountainous rocky hillside, and proudly flaunts its rapid waters, the tall plane tree of the square, and the decorated with traditional hand-woven textile shops. Going through picturesque villages, we come to the village of Thronos. It is built at the foot of ancient Sivritos, the renowned large city of the historic and Hellenistic times. Byzantine churches with elaborate religious wall paintings and icons coexist with the general ancient antiquity. In this corner of the Cretan earth, inside the austere church of Santa Paraskevi, rests the rebel of the Venetian times, George Hortatzis. In the diverse gorge of Patsos, besides the scenic passage the visitor enjoys walking through, he feels one with nature, with the murmur of the water and the singing of the birds. Here one admires carved in the rock the little Christian church that coexists with the ancient sanctuary of god Hermes. The wooden benches on the sparsely developed natural landing, along with the plane trees, compose the perfect welcome committee for the faithful worshipper in the non-ending merrymaking of nature. Returning to the village of Thronos, traditional living comes to life through the fingers of the Cretan lyra player in the form of music and singing, and the hands of the housewife in the form of a feast. The next morning, the dawn colours draw with the brushes of the sun rays the passage through the Kota Leotico Gorge. On the southern side of Rethymnon Prefecture, in a quaint bay, stretches Plakias, a gorgeous tourist resort with elegant beaches and natural peculiarities. Going through the village with the small taverns and the blossoming trees, the visitor is welcomed with the open-hearted, familiar Cretan hospitality and the warmth of the landowner. Prevely region is the most well-known region of the county, and with a good reason. In the pool formed by the water flow under the imposing stone bridge, ducks and water birds build their own microcosm. Nearby, the everyday man discreetly builds his own recreation stand. Through here, the unsurfaced road leads to Damnoni, a scenic and peaceful beach where the visitor, walking through a trail with steps, arrives to the mouth of the river. Trevlis River, one of the few live rivers on Crete, which empties into the Livico Pelaros, with its tropical dress of palm trees, murmurs its everlasting water song. Further to the west, the world-famous monastery of Prevely, with its enormous contribution to the struggles of Cretans for liberation. Renovated today, it continues its great spiritual contribution to this holy place. Renowned for its touristic attraction is Agia Galini. It is spread amphitheatrically on a hillside rising in the middle of its small port. On the colorful beaches, spreading their sun to the east and the west, fine-looking taverns await to welcome every guest. From this port, small boats make daily trips to Sphakia and Gavdos. Arcadi, a holy land, temple of freedom and the struggles for the freedom of the island. An imposing monastery, with carved features on its front, constitutes a mix of European and Eastern architecture. History bows devoutly to Arcadi of the ages. Here, in the powder magazine of the monastery, an epic story was written during the rebellion of 1866 against the Ottoman Turks and the reunification with the mainland. On November 9th, in 1866, north from the Holy Arcadi, the ruins of ancient Eleutherna are found, one of the 100 large and autonomous cities of historic Crete. It is the city that has handed down the only name of the Cretan king of the historic times, that of Veterhos. Panormos was the seaport of Eleftherna to the North Sea. In the whole journey to the open beach of Fordele, the whims of nature, the crystal waters with the numerous creeks, the bounding rocks, breaths in the flying of birds, compose a beauty second to none. Piled up on the side of the road in a particular traditional way, mountains of wood await silently to turn into coal. Gerontospylos of Melidoni, 300 meters high up and away from the village of Melidoni, receives in its cave the haunts of visitors to reveal the sad sacrifice of the villagers and its rich stalactite and stalagmite decor. The sanctity of the cave has been acquired through its long history, as it has been a refuge for settlements since the Neolithic ages to date. Hundreds of women and children have shed their blood here as a tribute to freedom. The Genital Norgia is stunning through small villages deeply rooted in time and space. Norgia, the highest town in Crete, the great duchess of the mountains, welcomes us, built in the heart of Psilorítis mountain. Streets bustling with life, corners full of memories and history. In her glad rags, with hand-woven carpets, delicate needlework, skillfully handmade, the town welcomes and bids farewell to the days of the heat. Let us climb the unyielding mountain visitor. On our way, we come across elaborate stone shepherd's huts particular to Crete, their mountainous roughness and construction, a drawing peculiarity to the eye of the mountaineer. Every small clearance of the rocks gives way to calmer stretches of land, small, flat, breathtaking on the rocky terrain. Nida Plateau, the highest plateau in Crete, is opening up before our eyes. Here, 300 meters higher, on the west side of the plateau, come and visit Ideon Andro, or Spiliara as the locals call it. Here, where the father of gods and humans was raised. Here, where Eneuros Minuas was climbing to receive the commands from his father Zeus, so he could be a good ruler to his people. Climbing up to Sphinaka at the edge of the road, beautiful bundles of the mountain's flora meet the eye. Tiny, small bunches of flowers, eternal offer to the greatness and godliness of the holy old man. On the summit, at 1800 meters, the White Eagle. Here also nests the University Observatory that compensates the visitor with a breathtaking view of the peak. And it's no wonder this feeling of greatness, visitor. From up here, with everything you saw, smelled, touched, tasted, heard, with all that old Psilorítis has whispered, you feel rather than understand the Cretan macrocosm.